probably, I'd say, is probably the best 4D experience I've ever had in the cinema, to be honest. Hello guys, welcome back to another weirdly a vlog on the movie channel. Yeah, old viewers of the channel would know that I used to do cinema vlogs, so going to the cinema and vlogging that experience. And to be honest, like, those videos used to do quite well, to be honest, but I didn't really feel like they were adding much value. So yeah, but anyways, today is a very special day. It is Star Wars Day, May the 4th, so happy May the 4th to everybody. If you all had a good weekend, obviously Star Wars weekend really much is quite a big thing here. And I'm now heading to go and see Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, in the cinema. Now, I was thinking to myself, how can I make this very interesting and different? Because I recently watched Episode 1. I say recently, like end of last year. But how can I make this different and something that's a good experience that I'm not going to be able to ever replicate back home? 4D is the answer to that. So I'm going to see Star Wars The Phantom Menace in 4DX, and yeah, it's going to be a good experience, hopefully. So stay tuned for the journey. Of course, I will film as much as I can, obviously without filming in the cinema itself, and yeah, I'll give my thoughts on the experience and all of that. But firstly, I need to drive to the cinema, which takes me about half hour, 20 minutes, and then we'll get in there. And here we go, Cineworld 4DX. This is the Cineworld of Newport. Here we go. I'm really hoping they have posters. Let's hope. I mean, I had a poster for bloody Godzilla vs. Kong, so there we go, guys. Got the hot dog. 4D. Oh yeah.
And then these are all the teaching.
Apparently the made is even better.
Well then, guys, I have just got out of seeing The Phantom Menace in 4D, and oh my god, I gotta be honest, that was an experience. That was more than the film, that was more of an experience. I'm glad I went in 4D. I wanted to see her in a format that, let's be honest, once it's not in the cinema, I'm never ever going to be able to probably experience that film in 4D again. So I'm glad I've actually done it and kind of ticked it off my bucket list. I've done that as well as Last Jedi in 4D. And I'd love, my ultimate aim, to be able to watch all of the Star Wars films in 4D. So I think when they come back to cinemas, I think that's going to be my #1 format to obviously experience them in. Yeah, really loved it. Obviously the film itself, The Phantom Menace, is one of my favourite Star Wars films. It's very nostalgic to me. It's the first film that came out when I was 5 or 6 years of age. So for me, it holds a very dear place in my heart. It's like the first movie that I very much owned physically that was mine, which was the VHS version, which I do have to this day. Love the movie, great film, very nostalgic, and actually surprised me how much I actually know from the film, like lines and just sound effects and the things I'd always look at on the screens. And yeah, it's really weird watching it back. But yeah, in the cinema, good experience. Obviously the film does look a little bit dated and stuff like that, but it did hold up really well. On this release though, I'm gutted that they got rid of the Yoda puppet, so Yoda was CGI in this release, which I prefer the puppet version, but you know, this is like the Blu-ray stroke Disney Plus release, I guess. Yeah, really good experience. The pod racing scene is the standout, you know, sequence in this entire film, especially from a 4D aspect. You get thrown around and air and water and everything in your face and all that, and it's really done. Probably, I'd say, it's probably the best 4D experience I've ever had in the cinema, to be honest. You know, up there with Last Jedi, because I just think the Star Wars films, you are in the cockpit, you are Anakin in that cockpit of whether or not it's the pod racer or the N1 Naboo starfighter, and you know, you are them, you know, and you feel them in the journey, you know. And there's enough in Star Wars, I think, where 4D just works. So 100%, if you are going to see this film during this week that it's out, or however long it's going to be out for, I would highly recommend go to see it in 4D because it gives you that experience of, as I say, being there in the movie and in the moment. The cinema itself was great. Like, all the people in the screen at the end were clapping, and like, you know, it was really good, really good. And yeah, God, really good. So hopefully now in a couple of years we may get episode 2 on that anniversary, or even episode 3, of course. And you know, every year we get some anniversaries. I think next year is actually 10 years since The Force Awakens came out, so we could get that. But I like what Lucasfilm is doing, bringing these back, and I think the more people that go to see them obviously supports that, and then supports their decision to bring, you know, previous movies back. You know, this is one of the good things, I guess, that came out of COVID, is older films now are in cinemas a lot more, and I for one am really loving that aspect of cinemas. So yeah, there it is. Rating the movie though, I gave it a 4 star. It's always been a 4 star for me. I just think some of the political stuff in the film can be quite onerous, but you know, as when I was younger, I probably felt that, but now I understand it a lot more and it's easier to understand. You know, some of the CGI doesn't hold up that well, and some of the acting actually I thought was pretty bad as well, you know, from not so much the main characters, but like the supporting characters were a bit thing. Like, there was one woman when she was like, oh, there's a storm coming, Annie, you better get inside, and I thought, that's not very good. And there was a couple of other examples like that, but as I say, very supporting cast members who just had 1 or 2 lines or whatever. But yeah, nonetheless, good experience. Go and see it in 4D. 100% recommend you do that. I would, yeah, it's just such a great ride. Not even, it's like literally like a 2-hour ride. It's honestly mental. So there it is, guys. There is my little cinema vlog stroke review stroke experience of The Phantom Menace on the 25th anniversary. Happy Star Wars Day. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more, and of course I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.